Yo, what up? What's the vibe, believers gang? Hope you're good. I'm happy to be here. I hope you are too. So these are usual pre-market analysis that we do end of the week before the market opens. And today, as of the day of recording, is 10th May 2026. So the projection we're gonna be having for this analysis is gonna be covering from 11th May to like 16th to 15th May for the new week coming in. So let's head on right to the chart and what we're looking at for the week on gold and US oil as usual. Um, so starting off our top-down analysis for this week, we're gonna be doing it a little bit differently, not from daily, but I want us to start considering the weekly time frame too, so that like we kind of like have idea what we'll be looking at for from the week. So from what we're seeing from the weekly, we're bullish all of a sudden for the past 2 weeks. We've been having red candles. Then from last week, we were hoping that these red candles and price breaking 4,700, like we're gonna come down to test this level, which is around 4,100 where price started. What happened? All of a sudden, we had a green candle that engulfed the previous week's red candle last week. So now this indication is telling us we're gonna be hoping for another green candle this week. What that means is we're gonna be bullish for this week from what we're seeing here. But now we'll need more proof to back that up. So what do? We drill down to like daily time frame and like we'll see what's happening. We saw this indication is a bearish indication. So we're hoping like maybe on Friday the market will close bearish, but no, it didn't. So what's the structure happening here? Market has been bearish, just like we said. This is the turn down. All of a sudden we had a shift that broke this high, previous high and broke this previous high. But now, before we go further, we have to put in consideration this resistance zone. There's a resistance here which caused this effect on the daily. So I'm just going to turn this to red. Anywhere you see red, it means resistance. So this indication is reacting to this resistance. So we should not take that resistance for granted. But now, moving on with what we're saying, like looking at things from the 4 hour, market has been making series. Remember, this resistance is still valid because since price broke from around here, tested it, price is around here to test this level again because this was where the bearish move started because market has been bullish. All of a sudden we had a shift and market has been bearish ever since we printed that two red candle we saw from the weekly, right? But now, what's happening? Yeah, we know that this guy is a resistance, yeah. Most likely, and like with this, we're seeing prices reacting to that level. So we've got to be cautious. But like beginning of the week, we bearish on gold. Like we like remember, let me take you down to the weekly. Any bearish move we see is a week for me. But at the end of the week, which should be Thursday, Wednesday, Friday, we're hoping that like even though we're bullish from beginning of the week, we like okay bearish regarding like we're hoping that the week will find its week, and again to add it up, like we are at a resistance at this level. So overall we're bullish, but like from beginning we bearish. So have that at the back of your mind because why structure shifted from this point. Market was making lower lows and lower highs. All of a sudden we had for whatever happened in the market, we had these two highs, two previous lower highs taken out, and that's an indication for a shift in structure to the bullish side from the bearish. We got double bottom, we got new high, we got this guy taking out with the body. For me to confirm for you, let me close. You could see we had a body closure on this guy. This body closure above here, did we need close here? We would have been but now this body closure, regardless of this resistance, indicates overall that the trend has shifted. So what do we do? Price now we bearish for a retracement to the move to the upside. So what we do here is to position and we'll use our Fibonacci tool from where the move started to the highest point it did, and our 50% retracement is falling around this level. It's falling around this level. It's falling around this price range. So now we're going to be positioning for the buys, but you can sell to the downside from when the wick opens. If it doesn't gap down, in the case it doesn't gap down, right? So which price does this fall under? It falls under 4,650, 4,600 level. But let's confirm 4,600 level and 4,650 level. So we identify our support and resistance, but we back that up with psychological levels to like that's our final destination, because regardless of everything we do, we're trying to know that okay, which particular price is price coming to. So around the price range of 4,650, 4,600 is where we are hoping we've gotten our first area of interest for continuation to the upside to create new high. That's our first indication. In worst case scenario, price comes down to this level of support, which happens to be around 4,561.46. So this is our second area of interest for the week. This guy here indicates that this resistance, like retracement, is very strong, right? But if these two guys get broken, then it indicates to us that what's happening that like something is changing, and like it continues to the downside, which I might say really with this thing will happen, with this that happened, but you can never tell. All we can do is to do our analysis. The market does its own, because lately the market has been unstable because of what has been going with Trump, US rather, Iran, basically. So in times like this, usually if you've watched previous of my videos, in terms of uncertainties like this, we are certain of the bullish move on gold. But now there is a problem with US oil, because what's happening macro on the macro level has greatly to do with the supply of oil. So any little thing, any um, inflow of funds in oil, people take out money from gold. And it has made the market so very uncertain in the previous week. So basically, we're just going to stick with our technicals for now. Then later we check fundamentals. But as of last week, there has been, see, we can't even tell, because this minute they are talking about peace, next minute the peace deal is distorted again. So we can't really say. All we have to do is just depend on our technicals, and this is the outlook we are having for gold this coming week. So let's move on to DXY to check the strength of the dollar. Like we'll start again the same thing from the weekly. What has been happening? Um, on DXY. On a weekly bigger picture, it's kind of like ranging between this price and this price. But like what we saw is that like, price was creating series of lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. All of a sudden, price took out this guy and this guy, which indicated a shift to the upside. Eh? Price took out this guy and took out this guy. Then now, technically, what we say is this guy is at a level of support which it has been riding for like weeks and haven't been able to break that level of support. So now prices are at that level. But from the weekly, here ended this week ended red. So most likely than not, we like this week might end red too. But we'll see. I'll give us the review at the end of the week. But currently price is sitting at the support level of 98 or 98.50 and support level of 97.32. But let's drill down to our daily. We will see that like since April 15, price hasn't been able to break this guy, but like from the look of things, and like last week ended this. So when this guy gets broken, then we'll like be looking forward for the price of the US dollar to come around 95,500 level. Else, based on whatever happens, this guy has been tested many times, and I think he's gonna be broken. I think. but it might hold, it might not. We don't know until the market opens. But like overall for BXY, which is the dollar index, right now we don't know. We don't know because it's sitting at a level of support for weeks. Can you see? It left this support and it's back. It left and it's back. So right now where price is, uh, it is. But from our weekly, it's bearish because price is riding below 100, below $100 per whatever. Price is riding it and it broke this week, I think, from this level. It broke from this level. So until market opens, but it's more likely like this support is gonna get taken out pending on our market open. So if the US dollar is weak, then it means our bullish bias here is valid because when the US dollar like is bullish, that's when we have pressure on gold, right? So take note of that. And moving on to oil, like we'll do the same thing again from our weekly. Oil has been kind of like ranging between, but like it's been creating series of highs and highs. All of a sudden, this low got taken out, which is this guy. Low got taken out. It's been bullish, but this guy got taken out. So this push we've been seeing to the upside, is it a retracement or a continuation to the upside? On the weekly, look at a strong level of resistance where the price is riding around, right? And this week ended red. So most likely than not, we're gonna have some reds. But now let's dig deep to see how valid it is. So it's in a ranging phase. It doesn't have a specific direction because like most of it's been lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. All of a sudden, this guy got taken out. This guy got taken out with a body closure here. So this coming down is a retracement. And if we do would we say is a retracement? Is at the price, is at the 50% retracement from daily for US oil. Guy, this guy why is so free on this level. And we could see what's happening there. Like look at the price action we're seeing at that level. See, this guy is an indication for a bullish move to the upside. So this strong level of support and this strong level of resistance price is bouncing, but like here got taken on and like most likely than not another move to the upside. Else continuation to the downside. But oil has been affected, has been ranging like this because of like the back and forth between US and Iran. This minute they are like wanting to have peace deals. Another minute the peace deal is in shambles. Next minute the peace deal is making sense. So it's been back and forth. So like to even have speculate on US oil is very, very tricky lately. Everything in the market has been tricky. But overall, our bullish bias is still like okay, price has been lower lows, lower highs, and we have this guy taking out with the body, which indicates a shift. So our bullish bias is valid at the price level of 90. So watch out if the price of oil continues riding above $90 per barrel. Watch out for that. Watch out for because price is wanting to pick up from the price level of 90. Where price level of 90. So watch out for that. And we have another indication. John. And if we go like this, if we do our Fibonacci retracement too from like 1 hour, we would see uh, would see would see that price is reacting at that level, this level. So yeah, this level. So market open, price comes down and reacts and continues to the upside because last week before the market closed, we had a news that um it started off US and Iran having peace deal, but all of a sudden within the week, Iran fires some missiles on US ships, and it's just crazy these days. But from technically, purely technical looking at things, the price of oil is bullish because it failed to create a new low and like it broke. So now question is the bullish move, is it a move for a fresh move to the upside or a retracement? Because in this ride, like price broke this level, so most likely price is coming to test this level, then maybe continue to the downside, which is around the price level of 101.01. Else, like, do you understand? I hope you are following and this is making sense to you. So, we bullish on oil, else continuation to the downside if it breaks 91.90. That's for oil. For the US dollar index, we we don't know. It's at the level of support. So is this support gonna be respected or is it gonna get broken? Only one way to find out. And this guy will determine like what's happening on oil and the uh, dollar. So just know that another indication I use anytime US oil is bullish, I'm looking at bearish opportunities on gold, which makes sense because right now from where it's at is bullish, and from where gold is right now is more likely bearish from open of the market, right? And if gold is bullish, it's more likely that oil is bearish. That has been the inverse relationship that has been happening in the past weeks. And why this is happening is before now, if it were to be another location not having to do with the major market supply of oil, this uncertainty we have in the market, gold would have been crazily bullish because like right now there's a whole lot of uncertainty in the market where we don't even know what next. Trump just come tweet anything, the market shifts. And this uncertainty is what makes investors to buy gold. But right now we're in a peculiar time where like this uncertainty has to do like when we see pressure, bearish pressure on gold, investors are pulling out money to buy oil, and when investors are pulling out money to buy oil, oil gold is bearish. And when investors are now pulling, when there's kind of like some peace talks between US and Iran, investors now remove money from oil and start buying gold. So that's why like the inverse relationship has been happening until this their matter gets resolved. We get so now the inverse is happening on gold when there's sign of peace. That's when gold pushes up because this move we had was when we had like some sign of peace between US and Iran. That was where we had a crazy bullish move from Monday, no, from Tuesday, I think, of this week. It has been bullish because of the signs of peace talks between US and Iran. All of a sudden, Iran retaliated and now it's back and forth. So stay out, watch out. So now a little thing I'm gonna do, let's look at fundamentals a little bit. It doesn't matter, but we've done our technicals and we've gotten our buyers. I'm gonna watch out for our area of interest that I've picked around 4,600, 650, 561 on gold, and you could take your positions from there. Just look for your 1 to 2, 1 to 3, but overall on gold we bullish from the weekly. So regardless of the bearish move we might see, you have to be wary and be active. So you have to follow my Telegram. I drop my trade ideas there. Follow me on Instagram, anywhere, the same name because I do share my updates there. Then if we check a little bit of uh, our fundamentals because I use ChatGPT for uh, to get like to read on fundamentals. And for this week, good overall bias bullish. Confidence level is 65-70. Mind you, whatever analysis we did it purely technical, but now like we're looking for the fundamentals to back like what we're saying. It says the reason